Fast fashion isn't worth it. Fast fashion is defined as inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. Think about the clothes you're wearing today. I want you to think about how much you paid for them. I would like to tell you their true cost by explaining the consequences of fast fashion. I am an avid lover of fashion, and because of this, I've taken it upon myself to learn as much as I can about the industry. And as much as I love it, I must acknowledge its downsides. Today, I will explain the consequences of fast fashion, what you and I can do about it, and explain to you the practicality of these solutions. Firstly, fashion harms the environment and garment workers, and whether you and I were aware of it or not, we were involved in these systems. In the past, 4 fashion cycles would pass per year. This would come and go with the seasons: summer, spring, fall, and winter. However, we are now seeing them cycle out more rapidly. We are buying and consuming and disregarding more clothes than ever. We are seeing fast fashion cycles pass within months and sometimes even weeks. Alexandra Bernard addresses this issue in her article, The Hidden Cost Behind Cheap Clothing, Addressing Fast Fashion's Environmental and Humanitarian Impact, where she describes how the U.S. consumer on average throws away 75 pounds of clothes every year, and this equates to 750% increase over the past 60 years. Moreover, the environmental impact of fast fashion is felt in its production as much as when the garments are discarded. According to National Geographic, the UNTCD reported that fast fashion is the biggest polluter after oil. And this is not even to mention the amount of water wastage. One cotton shirt takes up to 700 gallons of water to make. That's 5,400 water bottles. The water used in textile dyeing is also dumped locally afterwards, depleting local communities and wildlife of water sources. And the water used in the dye cannot be treated to be made safe again. Aside from cotton, synthetic materials like polyester have a big environmental impact. These materials can take up to 200 years to break down, and once they do, toxins are released into the surrounding environment. Furthermore, the humanitarian cost of fast fashion is undeniable. In order for fast fashion brands to sell consumers low-priced and quickly produced garments while still making a profit, they cut the budget. They cut the salaries of garment workers. An investigation into Shein by Channel 4 exposed what conditions inside a Shein garment factory were like. It consisted of 18-hour workdays, getting paid $556 a month to produce 500 garments per day. And this was not even to mention the policy of the 2/3 daily cut in case a garment worker made a mistake on a piece of clothing. Of course, all of this violates local labor laws, not to mention the health hazards that workers are exposed to by working with the chemicals in the textiles. So what can we do? The fact of the matter is most of our options are fast fashion, but there are other ways. One option is shopping from sustainable fashion brands. Many use organic cotton. By using organic cotton, its production is allowed to use significantly less water as well as almost no pesticides. Other well-known brands have also joined in on using recycled materials in their products. According to World Economic Forum, as of 2020, 59 major retailers have promised to increase their use of recycled polyester by 25%. We could also make use of the clothes that already exist. A good way to do this is to shop secondhand. By doing this, you increase the lifespan of garments that already exist. And when it comes to the clothes that you already have and that you may like and cherish, you may learn to mend those clothes once they rip or a button comes off instead of throwing it away and opting to spend more money at a fast fashion brand, which also would save you money. And to address the issue of the unethical labor, demand that brands do better. Demand that our government also do better by regulating these industries. Garment workers would benefit from being paid a fixed rate of pay per garment produced rather than the 2/3 pay deduction that's held over their heads due to the mistake policy that many brands like Shein employ. And how much more pay would make a difference in their lives? I would like to read an excerpt from Fast Company. 2 cents, an amount so small that in many countries it's rounded up or down to the nearest bit of pocket change. If he was able to pass along 2 cents more per garment made in his factory, it would be the equivalent to 2 extra days' pay each month per worker. And it is well within the budget of these companies to afford this. These companies are able to make billions of dollars per year by cutting the salaries of their garment workers. And this is exemplified by brands such as Zara and Shein, with Shein pulling in over $10 billion and Zara $23 billion in the year 2022. Moreover, picture this. In a world where everything I have previously mentioned was corrected, if brands were required to handle their materials with caution and consideration for others, then water sources for communities and animals nearby would not be depleted. Workers would not have to worry about becoming sick because of the types of materials that they work with. If brands employed ethical labor practices, then garment workers would be able to match the cost of living within their communities. They wouldn't have to work so many hours just in order to barely make ends meet. Nor would they have to work under the stress of having their daily pay cut due to a mistake made on a garment. They would have time and lives that aren't all consumed by work, and they would have time to spend with friends and family. Basic necessities of all human beings. In closing, fashion is art, but as it is, the true cost is way too much. The human cost is too much. The environmental cost is too much. The solutions are in our hands. Shop sustainably. Mend and treasure the clothes that you already have, and demand that our governing bodies do better. Fast fashion is not worth the convenient pricing that it offers you or I or these companies who produce these cheaply produced garments. It just means that someone else must pay the price. Join me in making lifestyle changes to do better for the planet and for those affected by unfair labor practices. Thank you.